Hello, it's Kelly again. Well,
Hey guys.
there's Brandon. Today I got up this morning. I noticed this regulator here. It's on the propane tank, which is a 2-stage regulator. It's kind of expensive. You don't really need it if you're just going to be hooking up like a heater. See, look at all the bubbles. See that? There's a crack right there. Manufacturer defect or whatever. But spray some soapy water on it, and you can tell it's leaking. So cut it back off. So we're going to be replacing that. Over here you've got 1/4 inch national pipe thread fitting adapter which screws into your propane tank, and on this end you've got a 3/8 which adapts to a flared fitting, which is 3/8 too. So it says in, you can't really see it, but in and out. But anyway, all right, so that's what's going to happen. Can you see it good?
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you adjust it to where it needs to be, where we can see it.
All right.
So went down to the local hardware conglomerate store. You know, there's a couple of conglomerate stores that people go to, and you know, sometimes they don't have what you need, sometimes they do. But I talked to this guy, and he definitely didn't know what I was talking about. But I told him I needed a regulator for a household appliance, just 1 or 2 appliances, and he tried to sell me the same thing, the same old regulator. But anyway, here is what I went and got. It's made by Mr. Heater propane regulator. See, 1/4 inch female pipe thread inlet, 3/8 female pipe thread outlet. Tells basically like 180,000 BTU capacity, 11 inch to 14 inch water column with a 1/2 PSI output. Perfect for what we're going to be doing. So we'll go ahead and start taking this one off and putting this one back on. Got me a couple of adjustable wrenches. You can use whatever wrenches you want to use as long as they fit, but it's quicker for me to use adjustable, since these don't have to be super duper tight and you're not going to round them off or nothing. Just crack that one loose. Hold this line and make sure that you should be able to turn it loose with your finger. There's the flare fitting. It's loose. And since we're going to be taking this piece out anyway, putting it in our new regulator, we got to take it out. Left hand thread, of course. As you can tell, that's pipe thread.
It's zooming. There, got it.
Pipe thread. 3/8. 3/8 flared on that end. Alright. A lot of people use thread tape, or that you can buy that what they call pipe dope stuff, but they got a liquid format of it. I don't like using the liquid stuff myself. I'd rather use the thread tape, which is white. Anytime you put thread tape on one, and anytime you have a pipe thread fitting, national pipe thread, NPT, you want to use thread tape or thread compound of some kind. And what you want to do is you want to wrap it the same way that you'd be screwing it in. So basically, I'm going to start wrapping it, and I'm going to turn it to the right and make sure I get it right on the threads there. Sure you get it kind of tight. Just turn it. Get you about 4 or 5 good wraps on there. You want to come right to the edge of the threads. Well, you don't booger your threads up whenever you tighten it up, and it prevents any leaks. So I got about 4 or 5 layers of tape on there. Now I just break it off with my finger. Then I get my new regulator here, And this little arrow tells me that propane's going to be flowing this way. See this little arrow? It flows this way. Propane tank, appliance, which runs into your house. So I'm going to screw this into the end of it. Now I'm going to grab my wrench. Make sure it's pretty tight, but not too tight, because then you'll break something. But you want, you know, fairly good amount of pressure on there. If I was guessing, I'd say maybe 10, 15 foot-pounds, maybe 15 at the most. But that should be good and tight. Don't over tighten it. You'll mess it up if you do. You can always tighten it up a little bit more later whenever you go to check for leaks with the soapy water. So now we're going to take the other side loose. Of course, this male fitting that goes inside the female fitting on the propane tank, it's a left-hand thread. So you turn it to the right and it loosens it up. You turn it to the left and it tightens it up. See how that just screws right up in there? And I'm glad I didn't get the other fitting that they offered with these. It's supposed to screw onto the outside. As you can tell, this propane tank don't have a fitting like that. Your smaller 20-pound tanks, 30-pound tanks, 40-pound tanks, most of them do. You know, they have threads on the outside here. It's for bigger black pieces. Kind of like your grill if you're cooking out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece out, do the same thing. Some of these fittings, when you buy them, they don't have notches on the sides, so you have to use like a pipe wrench. But you can tell this regulator, it's got a fitting for a wrench right here, so you don't have to worry about you know, being hard to get apart or whatever. So yeah. There we go. Now I should be able to turn it in my hand. There we go. Old piece of junk regulator. I don't recommend buying one. You go to a local hardware store. See if they've got a decent one. Don't get the 2-stage regulator. You really don't need it. It's really a waste of money. We found out the hard way.
You seen it earlier, but right here's the crack where it did crack right in there.
Yeah. There's no excuse for that, you know. But I'm guessing the way the assembly's made, it's real long, bulky, and kind of heavy, and just.
It is really heavy.
You know.
It's pretty heavy.
But either way, you shouldn't do that, and that's what it's done. Well, I'm gonna wrap this. It's another National Pipe thread fitting, and this is actually 1/4 inch. See, it's small, 1/4 inch. Always go with the thread like you're going to screw it in. Turn it to the right, just tape it, thread tape on. And get your thread tape right up to the edge here and do about 4 or 5 wraps with it. Be sure you're kind of holding it tight. There we go. Now we're going to screw it into this side. There's your arrow. I'm going to screw it right in there. If I'm lucky. Alright. Just tighten it up. And it don't have to be real tight. Like I said, you can check for leaks later. Just make sure it's snug. on your flared end fitting, you have to use a flaring tool to get this flared look. You have to cut your pipe, slide your flare nut on, then flare it with a flaring tool, and then clean it up, and then it's ready to be tightened up onto the fittings here. And that's 3/8. Now, that's fairly tight. But to make sure it's good and tight, always tighten your flare nuts up pretty tight. Really? Anyway, you may have to do a little adjusting, get your line straightened out and whatnot. And you don't have to put your regulator right here next to the propane tank. You can run a line to it. Put your regulator somewhere outside the house, run alongside the wall up under the floor. You don't want to run it under the floor or nothing, but they don't have to be right there next to the propane tank. I just found it a little easier to do it that way. Take care. Alright, getting ready to cut it on and check for leaks. You slowly open your valve. You can listen, make sure. When you open your valve on your propane tank, don't turn it all the way open. If you turn it up too hard, it messes it up. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to close it. Don't torque it down when you close it either, you'll mess it up. So just open it up a few turns. Take your soapy water. Spray it all over your fittings here. And you may not see massive bubbles. You may see little tiny ones. Like I see some little tiny ones right now. If you'll see right in there, little tiny ones. So that means I gotta tighten that fitting up just a little more. This one here, same way. You can hold it. Do all that. I don't like it wrench on that one. So we want that tighter, and then we want put that down on there like that a little more. Get this a little tighter. And we'll get this one over here a little tighter. This fitting over here is aggravating, I don't like it. It's like, you gotta turn the tank off, loosen this back up. And of course you see how it spun around there like some kind of retard. I shouldn't have said that. Alright. Aggravating here. I don't want to twist that up too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it like that. Go from there with it. It's aggravating. You just kind of got to work with it until you get it right. Some people tell you to torque them down real tight, and you do. If you ain't careful, you'll bust your regulator. You'll crack it.
And then you will repeat this whole process over again.
And you will spend more money on another regulator, more money on more fittings, and more time and money. It's just not even good at all. I mean, I'd rather not. I don't know about you, but I'd rather not. but we about got it. All right. And I might tighten this one up a little more, just to make sure. There we go.
Also, when Kelly installed this, he put in quite a bit of flex hose because we do use 20-pound tanks, and we've also got a 100-pound tank, so that way the flex hose can reach both very easily without bending any lines.
Alright, we're going to turn it on and try it again.
Bubble test.
I always spray my regulator down real good and check it. And right now, nope, no bubbles.
No bubbles.
Of course, it's a little bubbly from the soapy water, but you'll see the bubbles forming if it's leaking. None there. None there. None there. So, I believe we're good. Anyway, I went to Tractor Supply to get that other regulator. It was $20. The other one was like 40 bucks. It broke, so there you go. What do you think, Brandon?
I think it looks good, man. Everything looks good. No bubbles. Make sure you get your bubbles out. You can't have none at all. You'll lose propane, lose money.
That's right. Y'all have a good one. Click like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more videos. Hopefully everything will be all right and we'll keep doing it.